What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be doing the Pokemon Mount Rushmore, or to be more specific, the 4 most iconic Pokemon of every single gen, 1 through 9. We're not skipping any. I want to obviously see your guys' opinion in the comments on these picks, but without further ado, I'm not going to waste any of your time. Let's get straight into the video. Starting off with Gen 1 Kanto, the obvious first pick is Pikachu. If there's no debate, this is one of the few no-doubters, no-brainers in any of the Mount Rushmores. I'm not going to talk too much about this. He's the mascot of the entire franchise. If you ask anyone who doesn't know about Pokemon, they're going to say Pikachu. Or to name one Pokemon, they're going to say Pikachu. So Pikachu easily deserves the first spot. And if they don't say Pikachu, they're going to say Charizard. Charizard is the second on the Kanto Mount Rushmore. I feel this is another no-brainer. He's the second most known Pokemon by, I feel, a very, very large margin. These two are the no-doubters. After that, it gets, it's a bit of a debate, but I do have the next two coming up. My third spot on the Kanto Mount Rushmore, I think I'm going to go with Mew. He's really popular in the TCG. He's number 151. Let's remember that, people. He's number 151. And yeah, everyone loves Mew, I feel. Anyone who mildly likes Pokemon, I feel, likes Mew. He's in their top 10. So I definitely think Mew's one of the more popular Pokemon in Kanto, making him the third spot on the Mount Rushmore. And before we get to the fourth spot on the Mount Rushmore, quick honorable mentions to Eevee, Snorlax, and Mewtwo. I think they were all relatively close to being placed on here. Mewtwo or Mew, for me, was pretty interchangeable. But number 4 goes to my boy Gengar. How can you not add Gengar to your Mount Rushmore of Kanto Pokemon? How can you not add him? I mean, my boy Gengar, everyone loves Gengar. Yo, if you're not a fan of Gengar, get off this video. I can't lie. This guy, he's the intro Pokemon, first of all. I know that might not mean anything because Nidorino's on there. So that immediately takes away that point. But you had people going outside just to trade for this guy because Pokemon locks him behind a trade for some stupid reason. I hate trades, by the way, where you have to trade to evolve a Pokemon in the game. Why the hell do I have to do that? But on to Gen 2. Let's not waste any more time. Moving on to Johto, and we're starting out off strong. We got Umbreon. One of the most popular evolution lines, and, if we're being honest, the best evolution out of them. His cards, I've been looking them up. Dude, they go for insane amounts. They be making people crazy money, and Umbreon is a must on the Johto Mount Rushmore. Then following up Umbreon, we got Lugia. Yo, Lugia, he's a fan favorite when it comes to legendaries. He's on the box art, and I will still never forget seeing him come out of that waterfall when I was little. That was absolute cinema. So Lugia's must be on this list. Then taking the third spot on the Johto Mount Rushmore, we're going with my man Tyranitar. I feel he's what made pseudo-legendaries cool. Dragonite's awesome and all, but dude, the menace this guy had when we were all little jits, he's still one of my favorite pseudos. I think only Garchomp I like more. But Tyranitar, a legend of the game, he will not be forgotten. And now for the honorable mentions for Gen 2, we're going to go with Espeon, Suicune, and Celebi. Better luck next year, guys. And the last Pokemon to be put on the Johto Mount Rushmore is Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh, you're a lucky guy, my friend. You know that picture with the 2 menacing dragons and then the goofy dragon? Yo, I can't lie. That's Ho-Oh with these 3. Ho-Oh, you're a little below them. You're lucky Gen 2 is a bit of a weaker gen, okay? You are lucky. And the propaganda got to me. I've seen all these people glazing Ho-Oh. So you have made it, my brother, but count yourself lucky. On to Gen 3, the Hoenn region. And y'all know who's going on first. The GOAT, the best legendary, Rayquaza. He's a lock. He's a lock on the level of Pikachu and Charizard. Not having Rayquaza on your Gen 3 Mount Rushmore is the equivalent of not having Messi or Ronaldo on your football Mount Rushmore. Rayquaza, welcome in, brother. VIP access. Up next, we got Groudon. How do you not add Groudon? Another legendary. Gen 3, some of the best legendaries the game's ever seen. Gen 10, take notes. After that abysmal performance with Gen 9, what the hell were those? Dude, those weren't even... Bro, what were... I'm not even going to get into that. Groudon, welcome on to the Mount Rushmore, brother. Taking the third spot on the Mount Rushmore for Gen 3, we got Latias. I mean, Latias, you can pick whichever one you want. Let's be honest, Latias is more popular because she's happy. But the Pokemon Company, no matter what it is, could be a card, could be a movie, could be a show, with nothing to do with the twins or the two birds, they're somehow always involved no matter what. So they definitely deserve a spot on the Mount Rushmore. Or Latias does. Before we get to the final spot, quick honorable mentions to Deoxys, Latios, and my goat Blaziken. Blaziken, I wish you could be on here, my friend. Then the fourth spot, this is a Mickey Mouse spot. Kyogre, you are on the Mount Rushmore, but you are on fraud watch. I seen you in Pokopia doing a rain dance with some slowpokes, talking all jolly. You're supposed to be the king of the sea, man. You're on the level of Groudon and Rayquaza. This is basically a package deal, you get Rayquaza and Groudon on the Mount Rushmore. You kind of have to bring on Kyogre. Kyogre, you are on fraud watch, though. And that is the Hoenn Mount Rushmore onto Sinnoh. Starting off in Sinnoh, we got Giratina. I don't know what his title is. He's the king of the underworld or something. But he is one of the most iconic legendaries. I feel he is the pretty consensus fan favorite of Gen 4. So Giratina, take your spot on the Mount Rushmore, my friend. Now for the second spot on the Gen 4 Mount Rushmore, we got Arceus. Might be a bit controversial, but I feel you gotta have the god of Pokemon on the Mount Rushmore. And he also does have his own game. I feel, I'm not a big fan of him. I feel a lot of people aren't, but I feel lore-wise, he's got his own game. He's the god of Pokemon. He kind of deserves a spot on the Mount Rushmore. Then the third spot, breaking up the mythical and legendary streak we have going on. They're taking up all the Mount Rushmore spots. Who else would it be but Garchomp? Fan favorite pseudo-legendary. He's got 2 Megas. He's got a bunch of sick cards. And I feel basically everyone who played Gen 4 had Garchomp. Welcome on, brother. And for honorable mentions, I can't even list them all because Gen 4 was so stacked. We'll go with Palkia and Dialga, honorable mentions, and maybe Shaman. And the fourth spot, we're going to go with Darkrai. Top 2 mythical, no doubt about it. It's either him or Mew. And how do you not have Darkrai on that Mount Rushmore? He just got a new Pokemon set. He just got a new Mega. And he's a fan favorite all around. Darkrai, welcome to the team, my friend. So that was the Sinnoh team. Make sure to comment if you agreed with it. And on to Unova Gen 5. Here we go. To start off Unova, we got Zekrom. Box art legendary. Just got his own Pokemon TCG set. Iconic. Everyone loves him. Part of the most iconic Pokemon legendary duo. I don't know why I had to make that so complicated. But Zekrom, you got that first spot, my friend. And following up in the second spot, for the exact same reason, so I don't have to repeat myself to you guys, we got Reshiram, Zekrom's partner in crime. One of the best legendary duos, like I said before. And coming in at number 3, we have Kyurem. For some reason, I have this memory of him being a menace in the anime. I don't know if that's true because I don't watch it anymore. But this guy is detrimental to the black and white lore. He creates Kyurem White, Kyurem Black. And I'm pretty sure the second games are based on him. I haven't played them in a while, but I'm pretty sure, and my friend told me. So Kyurem is a must on the Mount Rushmore. And the honorable mentions for Gen 5 are Keldeo and Genesect. I do remember, I think Keldeo is a pretty big part in the anime or in a movie. So that's why he got it. And I think he's pretty liked. I don't know. I don't like him at all, though. But he's an honorable mention. And for the final spot on the Gen 4 Mount Rushmore, I went with Victini. I feel this one's very much up for debate. I should have listed a lot more honorable mentions because there is a lot more. But for me, when I think of Gen 5, besides the 3 I already listed, I think Victini is the choice, and I think a lot of people would agree. So on to Gen 6. To start off Gen 6, we have a no-doubter. Greninja, welcome to the Mount Rushmore. Super popular in the anime with Ash. Just got a Pokemon TCG set. The fan favorite out of the 3 starters in Gen 6. Greninja, you have easily earned your spot. And taking the second spot on the Gen 6 Mount Rushmore, we've got Sylveon. It's part of the most popular evolution line. It's fairy type. I think every single girl who played Gen 6 probably had Sylveon on their team, and a majority of players in general had Sylveon on their team. The second most popular evolution in my opinion, and a definite Mount Rushmore for Gen 6. Taking the third spot, and it's a massive drop in popularity and star power, we got Yveltal. He is a box art legendary. He is decently popular, but Sylveon and Greninja are on a different pedestal. We should have 2 Mount Rushmores for these Pokemon, but Yveltal, you have entered the list on the fact that Gen 6 has absolutely no Pokemon. For honorable mentions, there's not many, but we're going to go with Zygarde just because how hated this guy is, Sometimes if you're that hated, you become popular and you make the list, but there's someone I'd put above Zygarde. That last spot is going to Xerneas. Xerneas, another box art legendary. Them and Yveltal, they're great Pokemon, but they're not that popular, and Sylveon and Greninja are definitely on another level compared to them. But that's the Gen 6 Mount Rushmore. Comment if you agree with it, or if you make some tweaks. I thought Gen 6 was pretty weak overall, but on to Gen 7, one of my favorite gens. To start off Gen 7, we're going with my GOAT, Solgaleo. How can you not love a Space Lion or a Cosmic Lion? He is a must box art legendary. Need I say more? Solgaleo is the GOAT. And following up Solgaleo, we're going with Lunala. It's a Moonbat, basically. I just want to say, Pokemon Sun and Moon is my favorite title of any game. Sun and Moon just has such a nice ring to it, but enough with that. Lunala and Solgaleo, I mean, Gen 7 doesn't have the most iconic Pokemon for sure, and I do feel these two have been forgotten a bit, you know? They're not mentioned as much, but that's kind of Gen 7 as a whole, but I love Gen 7. And taking the third spot, we're going to go with Mimikyu. It's basically a redesigned Pikachu. The Pokemon Company loves Mimikyu, and I feel the fans really do like Mimikyu as well. So he's definitely on that Mount Rushmore for Gen 7, as it's a pretty weak gen for iconic Pokemon. And taking the fourth and last spot, I'm not doing honorable mentions because I feel this spot is such a toss-up. It can be between 10 Pokemon. I'm going to go with Decidueye. Bit of bias, but I do feel Decidueye is the most popular starter, and I'd say besides that, I wouldn't know who else to pick. Maybe Beware because of the anime presence. But I'm going Decidueye. Make sure to comment your Gen 7 list. I'm really interested to see them. And on to Gen 8. In the first spot of the Mount Rushmore for Gen 8, we're going to go with Zacian. I'm going to preface Gen 8, since it's so new, does have no iconic Pokemon. I'm not going to lie. That's why Zacian's going first. But Zacian is goated. I think he's super underrated as a whole. And welcome to the Mount Rushmore, brother. Then following up Zacian, I'm going to go with Dragapult. I feel everyone who sees him in their playthrough ends up picking him up when they see Dratini. Or not Dratini, what's his name? Y'all know, Dreepy. I think Dragapult is one of the best pseudo-legendaries, and I think over time people are going to start agreeing with that. If you don't agree with that, you're wrong. No offense. On to the next. Then taking that third spot, we're going with Zamazenta. Zamazenta, I just want to let you know, Zacian absolutely mogs you. And Zacian is the way better legendary of the two. I think Zacian will be appreciated over time. Zamazenta, you're mid. Who cares? But you do deserve a spot on the Mount Rushmore because you're not that bad. In the fourth and final spot for Gen 8, I kind of use the same analogy I used for Gen 7. There's not a clear-cut favorite. I went with a starter, and I went with Cinderace. I think he's the most popular out of the three starters in Gen 8. And he's known for the Sokka, you know? He's got that fire kickball move. So I do think he'd be fourth. You know, there's some other contenders. But make sure to comment your guys' thoughts on the Gen 8 Mount Rushmore. And on to the final Gen 9. Before we get into the Gen 9 Mount Rushmore, I just want to thank you guys if you've made it this far. It means a lot to me. And I want you to comment your guys' Mount Rushmores. Based on iconicness and star power, we'll make a video on personal Mount Rushmores soon. And make sure to comment any other video ideas you want to see. And without further ado, let's finish it off with Gen 9. Starting off Gen 9's Mount Rushmore, the most unique Pokemon so far today. We got Goldengo. How do you not have the cheese string on the Mount Rushmore? Everyone, all the homies love Goldengo. You are a friend of the channel if you're a Goldengo enjoyer. And come on, he's an easy Mount Rushmore, right? Then following up the goofiest Pokemon, we got one of the sickest Pokemon. We're going with Ceruledge. Charcadet, I feel, is going to become more iconic over time. And I think Ceruledge is the better of the two evolutions by a decent margin. So Ceruledge, welcome to the team. Or the wall. Then taking the third spot, since Violet absolutely mogged Scarlet, we are going with Miraidon, the better legendary. I think Miraidon's going to grow on people as well. I think obviously since Gen 9 is so new, people aren't that accepting of it. But with everything, people start to like it more and more as time goes on. And I think having your legendary from the start, being able to fly on Miraidon, ride on Miraidon, pause, so fun. And Miraidon's a great Pokemon. On to the final spot of the video. Finishing off the Mount Rushmore for Gen 9. Another toss-up. I'm going Tatsugiri. I don't care. It might be a hot take. He's going to become so iconic over time. The combo with him and Dondozo is insane. I feel everyone who played Gen 9 vividly remembers Tatsugiri. And I think over time he'll become more popular, more popular, more popular. And that is the final Mount Rushmore. Gen 10 coming out soon. Maybe an updated video with more stats and not just guesses. But thank you guys so much for watching. And like I said earlier, make sure to comment some videos you want to see and comment your opinions and your Mount Rushmores. And on to the next video. Thank you guys so much.